Alright, we're at the start line, and there's all the other runners for the solo runners and the first leg of the relays. 53 minutes in, just passed 4.3 miles past the first aid station. It's a pretty up and down course, but doing pretty good. My heart rate is higher than I was trying to. I was trying to stay below 145. It's been up between 165 and 169, so that's pretty high this early on in the race. So I'm going to try to back it down a little bit, recover, and then once I'm done with this downhill, I'll go ahead and slow it down. Catch up in a bit. So 2 hours and 18 minutes in, just finished my first lap, headed back, stopped at the aid station, got some more water, and headed back towards the other lap, going the other way, about 10.5 miles, and got my heart rate down to 141, so that's pretty good. Yep, it's climbing again, so doggone battery is getting low. When I was getting out of getting in my car, I guess to come here, I must have turned the thing on, so don't have a lot of battery juice, so I'm gonna keep these pretty short from now on, so I can continue to give longer updates. But in the meantime, that's that. So I'm about 12.5 miles in, and I want to make sure I get this in before the battery goes dead. So I've got a few people that I want to thank to help make this possible for me to get out here and do this. First, I want to thank my wife and my kids for putting up with my crazy running habit and letting me get out and do stuff like run 12 hours in the middle of the night. Second, I want to thank people at work for picking up the slack when I go in late, because I had a late morning run. And then I want to thank Mark Hametz and Mary Jo Duckworth for your kindness and generosity. Some of the equipment that I'm using today, you helped contribute to that, and I appreciate that. So I want to say thank you. And everybody else that follows me and my runs on Facebook, thanks for humoring me and making me think that my runs are somehow inspiring somebody to do their best at whatever their passion is. So anyway, that's what I got for now. I'll try to check in maybe at the next aid station. So it's about I forget how many hours in, but not very many. But I just spent about 20 minutes at the Outlaw Aid Station. I'm about 16.7 miles in. First aid said I was suffering from a little bit of heat exhaustion, and lack of electrolytes. So I'm had some watermelon with some salt, and on my way out I grabbed a handful of potato chips, some salt, switched out half my water bottle to do half and half water and sports drink, and he told me to walk it in the rest of this lap, which is another 3.5 miles or 4 miles or something like that, and then see how I feel. So, and the problem is with the heat exhaustion, I was sweating too much, and then with the lack of electrolytes, I was getting cramps in my glutes. So it's a rough one. It's not the distance so much as it is the elevation change up and down. So anyway, I just thought I'd give you the bad with the good. So there's the not so good. When I get back to the start finish, they have a machine you put your legs in, compresses out some of the lactic acid. So I'll do that, rest there for about 10-15 minutes in that, and grab some more food or something at the aid station and head back out for another lap. Try to pick it up and try to run some in that lap. After walking 4 miles, I should be able to run some. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So the goal was to finish the first 20 miles in 5 hours, and I was able to pick up the pace a little bit after that last aid station. And I know the medic told me to walk the rest of the way, but I started feeling pretty good. Still nauseated, but at least my breathing wasn't so rapid, and I wasn't quite as nauseated as I was before. So I did run some of the downhills, was able to pick up the pace, make up a little bit of time, but the time I spent at the aid station took me off the goal pace. So anyway, that's that. I did finish the 20 miles in 5 hours and 10 minutes. There was a gentleman that was at the aid station when I got there. He was feeling pretty sick, so I wound up catching up to him. We ran together for a little bit, and then at 19.98 miles, he kind of collapsed and was really not doing well. So you don't leave somebody out on the trail when there's nobody else around and it's dark and he's not doing good. So I waited with him for those few minutes until one of the course marshals came down. First aid, I don't know, somebody came down and said they were going to stay with him because we're about 6/10 from the finish line for the second lap. And anyway, he dropped to his knees and threw up pretty repeatedly until he was able to get all his fluids out of his system. So that was right before the guy showed up to help him out. So anyway, he's being taken care of, and I'm on my way back to the start finish, and rest my feet a little bit, refuel, and take it from there. So anyway, didn't quite make 20 and 5, but I made it the right way in 5 hours 10 minutes. And like I said, the elevation and incline and combination with the low light makes for a fun run, but also makes it for a pretty difficult run as well. So So I just passed the marathon mark, and I've come to understand that a trail marathon's a lot different than a city marathon. And finished the marathon distance, obviously still going, but finished the marathon distance in 7 hours 44 minutes, and that included the time I had to spend at the aid station, the time I was helping my fellow runner, and the time I took a break after lap 2 to have the legs worked on a little bit. So anyway, not for a road race 7 hours isn't so good, but pretty happy with it. Good job so far. And so since I'm talking about having a new accomplishment here with the trail marathon that I'm pretty impressed with, I'd like to talk about something else I'm pretty impressed with. I want to tell you about somebody who inspires me. So my sister Tanessa Cline has had a pretty rough year, and yet she keeps going. And yep, good job, runner. And so anyway, I thought I'd just tell you, Tanessa, how proud I am of you. I know it wasn't easy, Savannah being born, with all the complications she had, with no heartbeat and all the time she had to spend in the hospital and physical therapy. And then with Gabriella being in the hospital this year too, and Madison being in the hospital this year. I know you've had a rough one, but I love you and I'm proud of you. You're doing a great job, and things are going to turn around. So anyway, that's all I got to say right at the moment. I'll turn this off and try to get the rest of this lap done and figure out what's next. So I just finished 31.67 miles, and that's officially a 50K, and I'm sitting here at the elevated legs where they put these compression boots on you, try to move that blood around and clear out the lactic buildup. And so I'm going to do this and then see how I feel, but this might be it. So I'm back in my tent and decided to call it at after I went and had the elevated legs thing, had that done, and decided to call it. So I'm back in my tent and had a good run, got a 50K in, so I'm happy and proud about that. Thanks for going on the run with me.